Good morning. Welcome to a VO's journey. My name is Anthony, and this show is about helping the new and upcoming voiceover artists grow their business, sidestep all the crazy things that I seem to continue to step on. Today, we are talking about a very powerful rule. I think it's as much a rule in nature as it is for voice actors, but we're going to talk about the compounding effect and how you can use this, like I said, I think rule of nature, to take small steps for big success. Okay, it's really, to me, the secret to massive success in whatever you're trying to do. And it's funny because this this idea, right, is kind of rooted in, small actions. Small actions built up over time can build massive results. All right. And that's what we're going to be talking about, the compounding effect. Think of it as the snowball effect. Okay, so you are pushing and pushing, and you're pushing a snowball up the hill. It's growing bigger. It's growing bigger. You're pushing and you're pushing and you're pushing and you're pushing. All right, you get to the top of the hill. Right, you push it down the hill. The snowball is moving down the hill faster. It's growing bigger. It's growing bigger. It's growing bigger. And it just keeps growing and growing and growing the further it goes. Right, it continues to grow and continues to grow until you have a massive, massive boulder, whereas you started with a little teeny snowball. And I always think of things like a train, right? When a train starts moving, it takes an incredible amount of energy, right? An incredible amount of energy to take a train from starting from nothing to moving this massive piece of machinery. Cart after cart after cart. When the train finally gets up to speed and finally going, right, that momentum, it still takes energy, but not nearly as much as the amount of energy it took when it started. Okay? This is something that you see all throughout life. Okay, this compounding effect, this snowball effect. And today, I want to kind of talk about how can we apply this compound effect, some strategies for it, maybe some examples, etc., to kind of get you on that track and that mindset. I think first and foremost, the reality of success is this. It's boring. No, we don't want it to be, especially not us as performers. Okay, because I think performers, what we do, we're entertainers. No matter what we're performing for, whether it's a commercial selling something or we're teaching people how to build a carburetor or whatever, we're still performers, and there is excitement that comes with performance. But success in itself is boring. And what I mean by that is success is the right actions, small actions, right, taken over time, just like we're talking about here, to build that compound effect, that snowball effect, to where we are successful down the road. We've built a massive boulder, massive machine, but it takes time, it takes consistency, it takes continual small actions that seem meaningless. All right, but they add up over time. So let's see some of the things about applying the compound. Like what can you do? So first off, I think practicing daily is super important. I like to, for time purposes, I like to mix my practice with practical things. So for example, auditioning. Whether or not you like to audition or not, it's a way for you to practice and at the same time, right, use that compounding interest, there you go, that compounding effect, all right, to grow, all right, your possibilities to get voiceover work at the same time if you're practicing. But this should be done every day. Yesterday we kind of, I set out a challenge for voice actors, to this week, pick a number of auditions that you wanted to do and to go for it. Okay. And, you know, hopefully you got on board with that and you're trying it out and you're working your very hardest. But and it's funny because you might have done, 2, 3, or 5 auditions yesterday. You're like, okay, well, that was great. I got nothing, Anthony. But here's what I'm trying to say is that 5 auditions yesterday, 5 auditions today, 5 auditions tomorrow, 5 auditions on Thursday, 5 auditions on Friday. 5 auditions in one day is one thing. But now you've done 25 auditions over 5 days. 25 auditions. That is massive. 25 to 5, right? You did it consistently every day. You did a few every day, but they added up to a lot. That's the whole point of this, right? So practicing daily through auditioning is a great way, I think, to better your skill as well as possibly give voiceover work. Continuous learning. I mean, whether you're part of a VO's Journey Elite Academy, we'd love to have you, or whether you read books, whether you go to workshops or webinars or training, or you're working individually with a coach, whether you're one of my mentor students or whatever it is that you're doing to train, okay, you need to continuously learn day in and day out, okay? Or, maybe you pick 30 minutes a week to learn something, okay, or 30 minutes every couple of days, or 30 minutes a day that you choose, you set aside to make sure no matter what, you learn something. Whether it's a new function for your DAW, whether it's a new type of voiceover, whether it's a new type of style, or whether it's a different marketing strategy, you pick time every day, every week to learn, and you do that consistently over and over and over again. That compounding effect over time will create in you a massive amount of knowledge and success through that knowledge, because that knowledge will lead to you knowing what to do. Okay? I always think it's really good to set clear goals. Okay? And this is something that let's talk kind of about strategies. All right, here, because there's a couple things I like to include in this. So setting clear goals. I've talked in length in the past on the channel about your wildly important goal, right? WIGs. And we've talked about lead measures and lag measures, right? Lead measures being those actions that you take daily, right? Auditioning, emailing potential clients, etc. These putting up new samples or demos on profiles. These actions that you take daily, okay, for lead measures, and those lead measures lead to lag measures or goals that you set, like monthly goals or quarterly goals or yearly goals. These benchmarks, if you will, like for example a monetary number. I want to make X amount of money every month. Okay, these are lag measures because they lag behind the actions that you have to take. So for example, something I'm doing, right? I've gotten my I had my hip surgery. Yesterday it was 6 weeks, and it's wonderful. I've gotten up to now every single day, right? I walk, and it's gotten, I'm building up every single day. So over the last, week or so, this past week or whatever, I'm building up to 5,000, 6,000 steps a day, right? I mean, if you go back before I had my hip surgery, right, this is absolutely nuts. I couldn't even get over 1,000 just because I couldn't walk. It was so painful. But now, you know what I mean? I'm able to do so much more. It's wonderful. I'm not saying it's not so, I'm not sore, but the point is I'm able to do it. You know what I mean? So now I'm building up towards that 10,000 steps, 12,000, 15,000 even, like as we grow, like I'm building up every single day, consistent. And it's also helping me too, because I know that also if I, work out or, I do a certain amount of activity every day, right? So if I do, 5,000 to 10,000 steps every day, and I also eat X amount of calories, right, every single day, I know that I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to lose, a couple of pounds or whatever, how many pounds I'm going to lose each month. I know that if I do that each week, each day, right? Those are the lead measures. I'm doing actions every single day that it's going to lead to that lag measure, which is the overall weight loss. All right, on top of getting stronger and everything and moving. So, it's a total kind of this compounding plan, right? And part of this as well is the tracking mechanism that goes with it. And I think that's the next part of this strategy, right? Is you've got to track what you're doing. And this is where the lead and lag measures come in, right? In this overall strategy, meaning that how do you track daily a goal that you really, for example, that's not daily actions. Like, for example, people will take, I want to make, $5,000 a month, right? Whatever. And they're like, okay, well, if I want to make $5,000 a month, that means that every week, right, I need to make, what is it? I need to make, 1,000, what, 1,200, what, $1,250 or something like that, right? So I need to make that every week. So if I need to make that every week, that means every day I need to make, whatever that is divided by 7, right? And so you're looking, I need to make, $150 to $200 a day or something like that. But here's the thing, that is a lag measure because that is a result of actions that you are taking. You can't take an action. I wish that that you took an action, like like I walk and money pops out of the ground. That would be amazing. But it's still a reaction to your actions, right? So I want you to think of it. That's a great way to look at it too, right? You have actions and then you have the reactions. We only can control the actions. However, we know that if we do certain actions, they cause reactions. Right? So that's the idea here of lead measures and lag measures, and back to compounding. Okay? So if you take actions, they're going to create reactions. And here's the deal. A lot of times you don't see the reactions because you have to go on faith a lot of times, right? But here's the thing. That if you audition X amount of times, right, the reaction is you're going to win a job eventually. Some might be way longer than another. Like some might take way more auditions, some might take very few auditions. But the idea here is that you take actions and there are reactions. That's the idea of this lead measure and lag measure, right? The actions that you take, you can measure them on a daily basis, on a weekly basis. And your lag measures, right? Those are the reactions, right? The inevitable reaction to the actions that you're taking. Most people do not measure nor put priority on the actions. They put priority on measuring the reactions. You have to put priority and distance yourself from the reactions, meaning don't keep that in your mind. Because here's I've done it so many times, and tell me if you've done this part. You focus so much on the things that you want to happen that you almost seem like you wander around aimlessly trying to just get yourself on a track of doing something, but you're lost with what to even do, and then how do you even know what to do when you find out what you need to do? And then if you think you need to do something, you're like, well, I don't even know, should I do that first? Should that be second? Like there's all of these things because you focus so much on the end goal, right? And not the actions, on the daily actions and activities to take to reach that end goal. That end goal has to be separate. That's a reaction. That is a realization of that compounding effect of daily actions. Do you understand? I hope I'm getting it through across to break that mindset. It's not easy, guys. And I'll tell you why it's super not easy too, because we're dealing with money, our livelihoods, families, bills. So, of course, that stuff is always on the mind. So it doesn't help sometimes if I got a bill sitting in my hand, I'm like, well, I just don't want to think about it. I mean, well, the bill doesn't go away, right? Like the money, it doesn't go away. But at the same time, that's the trap, though, right? That's the trap for us. So focus your efforts and your mind on these lead measures, these daily actions that you take that we know that you can be consistent with them. We know that you can repeat them on a daily basis. All right, this is our strategy, and that you can track them, you can measure them. So, for example, if we set this goal yesterday of 5, I just was using it, but maybe 5 auditions a day. Okay, so we know that at the end of the week, right, we want 25 auditions. But daily, we're measuring that where I'm doing 5 auditions a day. So I have a tracking sheet that says, do I do 5 auditions a day? You notice that the goal was to hit a number of auditions. It was not to win jobs. This is where you really got to change your mindset some, because so many people are focusing on the end result and not the actions, the activities. Okay? All of those actions compound and they lead to that massive success, all that business that you want, the money that you want. But we can't focus on that because that is an end result, not the actions and the activities we have to take now. Okay? So I think, kind of closing all this up and wrapping this all up is that for the compound effect to work, you've got to be, in the end, consistent with the actions that you take. Okay? And those actions, again, small steps over time. All right? Imagine if you, a year ago, you started, or whenever you started, you started, and no matter what you did 5 auditions every single day. Right? So if you think about that, let's just use, we'll say you took 65 days off out of 300, right? So that means you did 1,500 auditions, right? I mean, imagine the experience, the jobs, the things that you would have gotten out of 1,500 auditions. I'm just saying. I mean, it is possible for you to do it as well. It's not impossible. Okay, it's not impossible. And that's just audition. That's just one little thing, okay, I'm talking about. So you have to think that compounds. I mean, look at that. Over time, it compounds and it creates massive success. I hope this has been helpful. I think I'm going to we'll go back, and it's this book that I absolutely... I just spilled a bunch of stuff. But anyways, this book, The 4 Disciplines of Execution, I've talked about it a lot with you guys. It's just been a staple in my life. I go back to it often just to keep it in my head, because if you're anywhat creative like me, I'm like squirrel all the freaking time. I would just have idea after idea, and ideas are amazing. Creativity is wonderful, but creativity, ideas without follow through and structure, they're just smoke. It's just a smoke screen. So you need a application, a strategy, and this compounding effect and these things I've been talking about will really help you. All right, you guys, thank you so much for watching today. Please, if you like this video, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. And, as always, check out Avila's Journey Elite Academy. This is something that we talk a lot about and work on quite frequently in our academy and everything. So we'd love to have you. And also check out Academy Voices, where we're working every day to get voice actors work. So have a good one, you guys. Happy Tuesday. Talk to you later. Bye.